Have you ever wondered what's really hidden beneath the depths of Antarctica's ice? While most people think of the continent as a vast, empty expanse of snow and ice, the truth is far more fascinating and surprising. Beneath those frozen layers lies a hidden world, full of secrets that could change our understanding of Earth and even life beyond it. And the most curious part? Most of these mysteries remain untouched. Few dare to investigate what's truly happening beneath these glaciers, where science and technology are slowly advancing to reveal the unexpected. But here's the part no one talks about. This icy expanse is harboring forces that could change our planet in unimaginable ways. Yes, the melting ice could raise sea levels to catastrophic proportions, but that's just the beginning. Deep within are clues to new forms of life, active volcanoes, and geological structures that defy common sense. Want to know what else is about to be discovered? Watch this video until the end, and you'll understand why the future of exploration isn't just in the stars, but in Earth's frozen depths. Few people know this, but Antarctica, that frozen giant, hides an impressive size. When we look at traditional maps, they distort its true scale. It's larger than Europe and Australia, almost the size of South America. This fact goes unnoticed by many, especially because it's so far removed from tourist routes, down at the end of the world, where the cold rains and the wind howls endlessly. Who would have thought, right? Simple 2D visualization technology ends up misleading us about the real territorial impact of this continent. Now, just imagine what we could discover if we explored every inch of this colossal area. Even with advanced mapping technology, it still fails to capture all its complexity. The innovation behind new mapping techniques is set to change our perception, not just of Antarctica, but of what humanity is capable of. And this is just the beginning of exploration. The true impact of Antarctica's size goes far beyond its geography. It's a powerful reminder of how much we still have to learn about this planet and what that means for our future, especially when we consider the potential impact that exploring it could have. But before we dive deeper into the extreme conditions that Antarctica offers, it's worth remembering that there's much more to this story than just the cold. Antarctica isn't just vast, it's also one of the most inhospitable regions on the planet. During winter, temperatures plummet to a bone-chilling -34 degrees Celsius, or even lower. This makes the environment nearly uninhabitable for most forms of life, including humans. The population, which drops to around 1,000 people during the coldest months, is made up almost entirely of scientists and researchers. Their dedication to knowledge in such an extreme place shows how far humanity is willing to push the boundaries of what's possible in the pursuit of innovation and discovery. Can you imagine what it's like to live in these conditions? Technology is essential for survival in Antarctica. From specialized suits that protect scientists from the cold to advanced heating systems that make research stations livable, every detail has been meticulously planned. It's a reminder that, even in the most challenging environments, human invention finds a way to overcome obstacles. This is something we can apply to any tough situation. With the right tools, even the most hostile barriers can be overcome. And this is where curiosity about what lies beneath the ice starts to grow. If the surface of Antarctica presents so many challenges, imagine what's hidden in the depths of this frozen environment. There are secrets buried beneath kilometers of ice, and it's there that the next great discoveries may be waiting. But to get there, we have to face another obstacle, the journey to this isolated continent, which is anything but easy. Reaching Antarctica is neither simple nor safe. Between South America and this frozen continent lies the infamous Drake Passage, one of the most treacherous seas on the planet. Fierce winds and massive waves, which can reach up to 20 meters, make the crossing a huge challenge. Even with all of today's modern technology, this route remains dangerous, testing the courage of anyone brave enough to venture through it. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Imagine being on a ship, surrounded by turbulent waters, with the wind howling around you. This is the reality for explorers heading towards Antarctica. Thankfully, modern engineering has improved ships and navigation equipment, but the danger is always there. The experience is a mix of adrenaline and respect for the power of nature. The challenges here remind us that humanity still has to face obstacles to conquer the most isolated places on Earth. Overcoming the waves and storms of the Drake Passage is just the first step. What comes next is even more intriguing, as the true mystery lies beneath the feet of those who manage to reach this remote land. Antarctica is a true fortress of ice. About 98% of its surface is covered by a thick layer, reaching up to 5 kilometers deep in some areas. To put that into perspective, this holds 61% of all the planet's freshwater, stored as ice. If all that ice were to melt, sea levels could rise by up to 60 meters, drastically altering the world's geography. It seems unimaginable, but this is the power that Antarctica holds within its frozen depths. Now, it's fascinating to think about what's hidden beneath this vast ice sheet. There are valleys, rivers, and mountains, all buried under centuries of accumulated ice. Science has made progress, and technologies like ground-penetrating radar are helping us map what lies below. Still, about 90% of the continent remains a mystery, waiting to be uncovered. It's as if Antarctica holds secrets from the past, offering clues about what could happen in the future. When we think about the impact this ice has on the planet, the consequences of its melting are something we need to take seriously. Besides raising sea levels, releasing that much fresh water could disrupt ocean currents, changing the climate in many parts of the world. Antarctica may seem distant, but what happens there could directly affect us. It's a reminder of how fragile and interconnected our ecosystem's balance is. What's even more intriguing is that beneath this ice sheet, we find not just hidden landscapes, but possibly the key to understanding parts of Earth's history. Each layer of ice acts like a time capsule, preserving information about the climate from millions of years ago. Scientists believe that by drilling into these layers and analyzing what lies below, we can learn more about climate changes and how they've influenced the evolution of the planet. And speaking of evolution, the next step in Antarctic exploration takes us even deeper, right into what's hidden in the subglacial regions. With the help of innovative technologies, researchers are beginning to uncover the surprises that the continent holds in its depths. The question is, what else will we discover beneath this ancient ice? Exploring what lies beneath Antarctica's ice is like diving into an unknown universe. Using technologies like radio echo sounding, scientists have been able to map valleys and rivers hidden beneath the ice layers. This technique sends radio waves through the ice, revealing geological formations that would otherwise be invisible. However, even with these advances, around 90% of the continent remains unexplored, a true mystery waiting to be uncovered. What's fascinating about this exploration process is how much there is still to discover. For example, many of the valleys and rivers detected suggest that liquid water is moving beneath the ice, something that surprises even the most experienced researchers. It makes us wonder what else could be moving down there. The possibilities are vast, from organisms we've never seen before to natural phenomena that could change our understanding of Earth's geology and climate. Now, it's interesting to think about how the future of Antarctic exploration will be shaped by emerging technologies. With drones and underwater robots, we'll likely be able to access areas that were previously unreachable. And this isn't just about science for curiosity's sake. The discoveries made beneath Antarctica's ice could have direct implications for how we understand the planet's climate and geological systems. Each new discovery is like adding a piece to a global puzzle. However, exploring these depths also comes with challenges. The ice's thickness and the extreme conditions make the logistics of any mission incredibly complex. Research teams need highly specialized equipment and support systems to ensure safety during their expeditions. It's no easy task, but science is driven by curiosity, and this is one of the most intriguing frontiers we have on the planet today. Every small discovery brings us closer to understanding the secrets hidden within the ice. And speaking of secrets, what about the volcanic formations and unexpected phenomena also buried beneath the ice? What might be growing or developing under such extreme conditions? Antarctica is not just a frozen continent. It's also a land of intense geological activity. Mount Erebus, for example, is an active volcano that has been continuously erupting since 1972. What's even more surprising is that it's not an exception. Several volcanoes are hidden beneath the Antarctic ice, creating a unique environment where fire and ice coexist. These underground eruptions form subglacial caves, which could harbor completely unknown life forms adapted to these extreme conditions. These subglacial caves are a world of their own, warmed by volcanic heat and isolated from the rest of the planet. Scientists exploring these areas have found evidence of species that had never been classified before, like small organisms resembling arthropods. What's most impressive is that, even in the harshest conditions, life finds a way to thrive. Discoveries like this make us reflect on how complex and resilient nature's inventions can be. Now, think about the impact these subglacial volcanoes could have on our research into life on other planets. If organisms can survive in the volcanic caves of Antarctica, who's to say something similar couldn't exist on icy worlds like Jupiter's and Saturn's moons? Research in Antarctica could be a key step in understanding the conditions necessary for life in the universe. Technology plays a vital role here, allowing us to uncover environments that were once inaccessible. Beyond biology, volcanic activity in Antarctica also affects the continent's geology. The heat from the volcanoes can create flows of water beneath the ice, altering glacier dynamics and potentially contributing to ice melt. This not only impacts the stability of Antarctic ice but also has global implications, as melting ice could affect sea levels and climate patterns in various parts of the world. Antarctica, therefore, is connected to the rest of the planet in ways we're only beginning to understand. As we explore more of these volcanic formations and hidden caves, new geological and biological mysteries continue to emerge. Which leads us to the next point: the geological wonders of Antarctica, which go far beyond the volcanoes. Antarctica holds some of the most impressive geological wonders on Earth, hidden beneath thick layers of ice. A remarkable example is the Denman Glacier, home to the deepest canyon in the world, plunging over 3,500 meters below sea level. Few would imagine that beneath all that ice, the Antarctic continent conceals such grand formations. It's fascinating to think that the world beneath the ice is as diverse as any other landscape we know. But Denman Glacier isn't alone. Another notable example is the Gamburtsev mountain range, a chain of mountains comparable in size to the European Alps, but buried under more than 600 meters of ice. These buried mountains are a reminder that, even in seemingly inhospitable places, the planet still hides spectacular geological structures. The fact that these mountains remain largely unexplored only deepens the mystery of what else might be there, waiting to be discovered. It's as if Antarctica is a locked vault, and each discovery is a key to unlocking its secrets. Explorers and scientists are challenged not only by the extreme conditions but also by the complexity of the buried geological formations. And this teaches us an important lesson: there's always more than meets the eye. If these colossal mountains and canyons exist beneath the ice, what else could be waiting to be found in the unexplored parts of the continent? The presence of these massive structures also has important implications for global geology. They help explain how continents have formed and evolved over millions of years. Moreover, the glaciers covering these formations could offer clues about how past climate changes have shaped the Earth. Studying Antarctica's geological wonders is essential to better understanding the planet's geological history as a whole. This leads us to an even more intriguing point: the life that might exist in these extreme environments. If the continent's geological formations are so spectacular, imagine what else we might discover about the creatures that inhabit the isolated areas of Antarctica. The next step takes us directly to studying forms of life that defy expectations. Antarctica, with its freezing temperatures and ice-covered landscapes, may seem inhospitable to life, but what lies beneath the surface is beyond what we might imagine. In subglacial lakes like Lake Vostok, isolated for millions of years, scientists have discovered living organisms, including previously unknown bacteria. These microorganisms have adapted to extreme conditions of cold and darkness, challenging traditional notions of the limits of life on Earth. It's a reminder that even in the harshest conditions, life finds a way to survive. Lake Vostok, in particular, is a remarkable example of how these extreme environments can harbor ancient secrets. With nearly 4 kilometers of ice covering its waters, this lake is completely isolated from the surface. And yet, life has evolved there, possibly without contact with the rest of the world for ages. Studying these life forms could provide valuable clues about the evolution of life in extreme environments and even on other planets. After all, if organisms can thrive here, what does that say about the possibilities on frozen worlds like Europa, one of Jupiter's moons? The discovery of bacteria that have survived millions of years beneath the ice is already an impressive achievement. But scientists believe there may be even more complex forms of life, such as small fish, living under these conditions. This challenges our concept of habitability and shows how life can be far more resilient than we imagined. If we apply this to our own lives, we can learn that even in the toughest situations, adaptability and perseverance are key to survival and success. Another intriguing aspect of these discoveries is what they mean for the future of space exploration. If life forms this adaptable can exist in environments like Antarctica, it gives us even more hope that we might find life on other planets or moons with similar conditions. It's an exciting perspective because Antarctic exploration could be the first step in preparing us for the challenges we'll face beyond Earth. As we continue to explore these inhospitable areas of Antarctica, it's clear that we're only scratching the surface of a vast mystery. With each new discovery, more questions arise, leading us to investigate what else this frozen continent hides, both about Earth's past and the future of scientific exploration. What more can we discover on our planet and beyond? Have you ever wondered how nature recovers and adapts in other parts of the world? An inspiring example is the innovative reforestation work in the Sahara, where human determination is pushing back the desert and restoring life. You can learn more about this by clicking the video that's now appearing on your screen. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss anything and can keep learning about inventions and fascinating facts from around the world. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.